There's that man again.
Offices and professional settings. What are the best fragrances to wear in those types of situations? Well, if you stay tuned, I'll tell you about five of them. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Teddy Files. I am your resident sommelier, Mr. Yes Teddy, and today we're talking about professional office fragrances. Those fragrances that are sweet or smoky or any of those types of things. They're just really light, bright smelling, and inoffensive fragrances. Not exactly summer fragrances. Fragrances that could possibly pass in the summer. So the first one that I have up is one that I recently started wearing. I've had it for a moment, but I recently started wearing it. I loved how it smelled, but smelled it on the strip, and I was like, okay, you know what? It's not bad. Yeah, I'll get some wears out of it. And man, things always open up on skin. If you've never heard this from any other fragrance reviewer, I'm pretty sure you have if you watch this type of content. Always spray on skin. Always spray on skin. Because the strip or the box or whatever it is you decide to spray it on, it just doesn't give you the same magic that spraying it on skin does. And right here, my skin so beautifully to where it is, it's become one of my go-to office fragrances, and that would be Hermes H24. So we're talking about bright, aromatic, a little bit metallic, beautiful, beautiful office fragrance, man. This thing has clear sage, narcissus, rosewood, and skirlane. Skirlane, I believe that is. But the feeling that you get from spraying this, it's a really bright, very, very herbal fragrance. It smells extremely herbal. Um, it's once again, it's inoffensive. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea as far as wearing, um, but when you put it on skin, you catch it in the air and you catch the sillage of it. It is a magical fragrance. It's actually it's uplifting to me. Whenever I've worn it, sometimes in the office things can get just a little bit hectic. And when I catch a whiff of it, if I just happen to get up and, you know, maybe file something away or just walk away from my desk for a moment, and I get a whiff of it, and I get a whiff of the beautiful, almost like a black tea type of smell to it. It is a very it's a very, I would say for me, it's a very unusual fragrances that I've it's a unusual fragrance that I haven't smelled in a lot of other fragrances. And that's a good thing because, sometimes you get bored after a while when you just keep smelling the same notes, same notes, same notes. It's only but so many times you're going to be able to remix those notes. And this one right here, it was polarizing when it came out because there were a lot of people that did not like it. And I was a little skeptical about buying it at first, but once again, I buy fragrances for what I like, not for what other people say. I do listen. I do respect the advice that is given, but I also have to get the experience for myself. And this right here, this fragrance is an awesome experience. I would say if you can try to get a decant from someone, or maybe one of those carded decants if you possibly can. But the experience itself for me was pretty damn good. And like I said, become one of my go-to office fragrances. But you can try it out for yourself, and that is Hermes H24. The next fragrance that I have up is a fragrance that I really don't hear anybody talk about. And it's a damn shame because it's a really good fragrance. This is a woodsy, citrusy fragrance that is extremely inoffensive, but man, it smells good. and that would be Yes, I Am the King, Le Parfum. This one here, man. So I have the I Am the King Lion, and absolutely love that fragrance. I think it's a phenomenal fragrance. So I decided to look into the Japarles um, fragrance line a little bit deeper. So the next purchase that I made from that fragrance line was this one here. Yes, I Am the King Le Parfum. And when I tell you, just clean, somewhat soapy, like I said, very aromatic, woodsy, citrusy at the top, extremely bright at the top. I mean, very, very bright. That opening is is very citrusy and clean. It's citrusy and soapy at the same time. It is amazing fragrance, man. I am so glad that I bought it. Um, it's very inoffensive. It has a pretty damn good sillage. Now it's not gonna last all day on skin. Maybe give you 5 or 6 hours, but hell, I only be at the job for about 8 hours. So 5 or 6 hours is perfect. I usually take my fragrances with me, so if I want to, I'll go ahead and respray. The projection is maybe about an hour or so, which is pretty good for a fragrance that is about $40. And the fragrance notes that you have in this one are lemon, nutmeg, coriander on the top, tonka, lavender, iris, and violet are the middle notes. Frankincense, moss, musk, sandalwood, and vetiver bring in the rear of this fragrance. And man, this fragrance is it's unassuming when you first, like, if you try to spray it, smell it out of the atomizer, you probably won't catch a lot of anything because it doesn't do its best work just sniffing the atomizer. It doesn't do its best work spraying it on paper. In the air, when you spray it in the air, you understand that magical opening that I'm talking about. This has a amazingly bright and just this aromatic opening. And once again, much like H24, it is mood enhancer for me because it brightens my day. When I spray it, if I happen to catch a whiff of it as I'm walking around, it's a very, like I said, once again, a very inoffensive fragrance. And I don't see too many people saying that they would not like this one. I really don't see a lot of people saying they wouldn't like this one. I mean, there's people everywhere that don't like everything. That's absolutely fine. But more often than not, people won't actually have a problem with this fragrance. So, once again, like I usually do, I will leave links in the description box so you guys can go ahead and pick this up for yourself. Because if it's an inoffensive, clean, and aromatic office fragrance that you're looking for, this just might be your one. Yes, I Am the King. Le Parfum. The next fragrance that I have up is woodsy, earthy, and spicy. Also could be considered, and I do believe it is considered a barbershop fragrance, and is from the brand of Hugo Boss, and that will be Boss Number One. So I've really just recently started getting into Hugo Boss fragrances. Not sure why it took me so long to get into them because I've smelled them before. I've smelled them in the store and things of that nature. Always liked it when I smelled it, but for whatever reason, I always reach for something else. So here recently, I guess I've been backtracking, going to get some of the older ones to get to some of the newer ones because the Boss Bottled line, oh, definitely, I'm going to be on that. But this one here is, once again, earthy, mossy, very fresh. It's sharp. It has a sharpness to it. It's very aromatic. It has a lot of very, very strong, I guess that you could say, a very strong breakdown as far as the fragrance notes. That is, honey is the top note. Well, sorry, artemisia, juniper berry, bergamot, lemon, apple, caraway, basil, and grapefruit. Middle notes of honey, lavender, rose, jasmine, sage, geranium, lily of the valley, and orris root. And bringing up the base is tobacco, oak moss, patchouli, sandalwood, musk, amber, cinnamon, and cedar. Now, that is a lot of notes, but they work. They work very well in this one. I've worn this on skin, and when I initially put it on skin, it was very harsh, very harsh. I have to admit it was harsh, and I was like, I'm not sure I could pull this one off. But then you give it a moment, you learn patience, you let that dry down happen, and it's just very professional. You smell buttoned up. You smell like you are a businessman. You smell like you know what you're talking about, and you smell like you want to be taken seriously. This fragrance right here is a classic. It doesn't get talked about a lot, but I'm going to definitely be talking about it on this channel because I will be, once again, as far as office fragrances, this one, H24 Le Parfum. You know, I'm going to have those moments where I'm going to reach for these. I reach for one of these aromatic fougere type of fragrances or aromatic office fragrances at least one time in the rotation of my weekly wears. And the next week will be this one. So definitely wanted to talk about this one and get this out here. And once again, I will put a link in the description box so you guys can figure it out for yourself and see if it's something that you like. Now, once again, it is aromatic, somewhat of an aromatic fougere. So if you're not into fougères, barbershop fragrances, things of that nature, you're probably not going to like this one. But if that is right up your alley, this would be right up your alley. And that will be Hugo Boss, #1. So the next fragrance that I had is Green Woodsy, fresh and spicy. And I wouldn't just classify this one as an office fragrance. This is an everyday wear, an anytime wear. It works well for me in the winter. It works well absolutely in the summer, spring, fall. To me, I can wear this fragrance anytime. And that would be Gamalul, that Black Intense. So this right here is becoming one of my easy reach fragrances, and it's intoxicating to me. It's ooh, forgot about how wonderful that atomizer is. Atomizer is not to be played with. Now, this fragrance in the air, man, that thing will come up pretty strong. But as the dry down happens, it almost slightly, let's just say Aventus adjacent. Not exactly like Creed Aventus, but it reminds you, it kind of puts you in the realm of the thought of Creed Aventus. But it is definitely its own man. This fragrance right here, let's just give you the fragrance breakdown because once again, it's becoming one of my easy reach fragrances. It's one of the ones that I thoroughly enjoy this fragrance. It is at the top notes you got apple, mint, elemi. Your mid notes are lavender, clary sage, and juniper, and your base notes are patchouli, vetiver, and suede. All of that to come together to give you this green, smoky, just spicy, beautiful, anytime, any day or night fragrance. This fragrance to me is a no-brainer. It's an easy reach for me. Once again, everyone's taste may vary, but for me, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that did not like this fragrance. This is a gorgeous fragrance. There are decants available online. There are samples available online. You can actually go to the Michael Malul website. I will put the link in the description box so you guys can check it out for yourself. But this one right here is a highly recommend for me, and that would be Michael Malul, Jet Black Intense. And the last fragrance that I have on the list is Aromatic Woodsy, spicy, with a slight hint of tobacco. And recently I saw another YouTuber talking about it. It sparked my interest. And when I got it, I would have to say shout out to that guy because he knows exactly what he's talking about. And that would be John Barbados Vintage. So this one right here, let's just say insert grown man fragrance here, man. My goodness. My goodness. Just at the top, you get a little bit of sweetness with this fragrance. You get a little bit of sweetness and a slight bit of tartness at the beginning of the fragrance, but then as it starts to dry down, you start kind of getting this leathery tobacco type of feel to it, and it is awesome. It is an absolutely awesome fragrance. I mean, the fragrance breakdown is top notes: rhubarb, uh, pepper, wormwood, basil, fennel. Middle notes of cinnamon, juniper berries, lavender, green leaves, jasmine, and orris root. Now, base notes are what you start to catch and what just makes it absolutely so sexy. And that's that tobacco, the suede, the balsam flower, tonka bean, woodsy notes, oak moss, and patchouli. That mixture alone makes this just a classic fragrance. It just smells classy. It's, once again, much like one of the other ones. You smell buttoned up, you smell ready, you smell ready to take on the world. This fragrance right here, I am so glad that I got this in my collection. I'm so glad when I was so happy when I put this on my skin and how it just it projected. It doesn't last very long. Once again, it's like 5 or 6 hours on my skin. But that's pretty damn good for me for the price point that I got it at. And it's an amazing fragrance. The sillage is magical. The projection is not a beast mode projection. You may get about an hour of projection out of it, but once again, the sillage and the scent bubble, it's pretty damn good. It becomes a really faint skin scent after about the 5 to 6 hour range. But hey man, you got a good 6 hours out of a fragrance that cost me about 40, 45 bucks, and this is the full size bottle. So once again, I will leave a link in the description box. You can do any worse than going out and grabbing a bottle of this one. Once again, taste may vary. If you have an opportunity to smell it, if you know somebody who has this, go smell it for yourself first. Find out if it's something that'll work for you, and then go ahead and purchase. I do blind buys, number one, because this is what I do. I'm a fragrance influencer. As you can see, I buy quite a few fragrances. I don't recommend this for people who are just casual fragrance purchasers. So if this is something that you're interested in, once again, see if you know somebody that has it. See if there's a place that you may be able to find some sort of a decant. If I can find one, I will put it out there in the description box so you guys can grab one for yourself. But once again, man, this right here, I am so glad that I purchased this. I'm so glad that I listened to some of the fragrance influencers on YouTube. And this for me is it's a very happy purchase. It's a very happy purchase, and that would be John Varvatos Vintage. Well, everyone, that is my time. I want to thank you once again for sharing this experience with me to talk about these office fragrances. And tell me what you wear in the office. Put it down in the description box, or put it down in the comment section. And let me know what kind of fragrances you wear throughout the week, what you wore this week. I really would like to know about it. And let's just see if we have similar tastes, see if we match up on these. And once again, everybody, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this content because it helps this channel grow. I want to thank everyone who over the past couple of weeks has actually subscribed to the page. I truly love and appreciate you guys. And remember, I am your resident sommelier, Mr. Diaz Teddy, and over here, we don't do stink. Please, especially in office, don't be a stink ass. Have a good one.